Hello, hello. Just getting ready here. Well, it's Diana from DianaMarchand.com. I got my computer underneath, so that's why the light coming up from above. But I think it's okay. It's just I have a few notes here. And what I wanted to talk to you about in this video was about the on again, off again. Let's stop this and stopping the excuses and kind of figuring out what's all this is about and why you may not be able to stick to something. Who is on? Hey, Dawn. Okay. Now, the 5 steps that I'm talking about here, I'm just reading a little bit down here, are 5 things you got to get rid of. The all or nothing attitude. Get out of your story. Right, we're going to talk more about that. Number 3 is more so kind of, you're going to not like this, force yourself. Find the why, book the time. Number 4 is about eating cleaner. And number 5 is about getting help when you need it. So what happens is when we say things like when I'm talking about healthy eating, healthy living, right? There's what comes up is a lot of resistance, first of all. First of all, people go, oh, I know I got to change what I'm eating, but, and there's always a but. There's always a but, right? And that's the thing that you want to look at. Why is there always a but? And why there's a but lots of times is because there's a couple things. Number 1, that is the all or nothing, because so many women who come to me, almost all of them, start with the all or nothing attitude. And that is, if I don't have time to do it all of it, which can be really overwhelming, then I'm not going to do any of it, right? That is a big, huge thing about it. I don't have time to do all, so I'm not even going to start. So it's like you want to, let's say, you want to start healthy eating, you want to start a cleanse, you want to start something, right? And why you wait to start something specifically instead of just doing the little steps. But anyway, so you choose, okay, Monday I'm going to start. Monday I'm going to start. Monday gets closer. You haven't had time to do all the grocery shopping. You haven't had time to do all the prep or whatever. And you think that Monday's a busy day for me. I'm not going to start Monday because I have so much that I got to prepare to be ready to even eat cleaner on Monday. That is just too much. So there you go. You're dealing with the all. You got to do it all at once, all at the same time, or forget it. I'm going to do nothing. And that happens all the time. So what happens is you start out, maybe one day you decide you're going to start, you're all ready, you're all prepared, you got all the stuff done, you're trying to handle so many things at once. Maybe you're trying to do an exercise program. You're trying to, like I'm going to exercise 5 times a week. I'm going to get rid of all the gluten, all the dairy. I'm going to get rid of all the junk in my house. I'm not going to eat any chocolate. I'm not going to have any wine. So you're trying to do all of that at once. So you start doing it, you're 1 or 2 days in, and then something comes up. You maybe get stressed, and so your go-to is a glass of wine or some chocolate. And so that happens, and then you think, forget it. Forget it. I give up. It didn't last. Obviously, it's not going to work. It's hopeless. It's just too hard, so it's not going to work. That is why the all or nothing attitude has to go. It's about making little steps consistently. Like I say to some people, even just start with 1 or 2 smoothies a day and change nothing else. That'll make a difference. Just be consistent. And the other thing is number 2, which is get out of your story. And this is a big one. Because your story is kind of like your excuses that you've told yourself over and over and over again, and they become your belief system because you absolutely believe that they are true. They're things you say to yourself why you can't do something or why you are where you are. Like your story, which is number 2 of this, the 5 steps. Your story is, whenever I try to eat healthy, then something happens and life always gets in the way, and then I'm too busy, or my spouse or my kids, they don't like to eat that kind of food, so it just doesn't really work for me. Or I tried every diet and nothing works. That's another story that you could have going on. Or another thing could be healthy eating is so expensive and it takes hours and hours in the kitchen, and that's why I don't do it. See, all of those things are not really true. They're just things you told yourself, and maybe your friends have talked about over and over again. They're not true at all, but what you think are the truth. So that is wrong. You want to get rid of that and realize that you do that. Realize when you start saying that to yourself, go, that's not really, really true. That's just what I keep telling myself. It's my story. It's keeping me stuck. And number 3 is forcing yourself. There's 2 parts to number 3. There's a couple other parts to number 3. forcing yourself. So when you begin a habit or anything that is new to you, and you're trying to break an old pattern, it requires you to do something new. Just like if somebody's decided to go to the gym, all of a sudden I'm going to join a gym, I'm going to work out 3 days a week or whatever. So what you got to do is those days you don't want to work out, you actually have to force yourself. It's the same with when you try to implement smoothies or something, or get rid of gluten. You just have to do it. You may walk into, like me, sometimes in a bakery, and I see this amazing food, croissants and stuff. I have to force myself not to have one. I have to say, no, you know how terrible it makes you feel. No, you're not going to have one. So it takes effort, it takes you to force yourself until it becomes second nature, until you get rid of that kind of like addiction, right? That need to have it, and realize that you don't need to have it, and so part of that is finding your why, is finding why is this so important to me? Why am I doing this? And if it is such a small little thing like, I just want to lose a few pounds, it's probably not going to keep you on track. You need to find a really big why. And mine is because I want freedom and excitement and adventure in my future, And so I know to have those things, I need my health. So if I don't have my health, I will not be able to experience those things. I will not be able to travel where I want to travel, live the life I want to live, do the things I want to do. And I hate being dependent on anybody. I don't like it, that to know that what if I get really sick and I have to depend on someone. I like my independence. So that's another reason. Those are big whys for why I stay healthy. And then also book the time. And then not really book. What it is if I don't have enough time is one of your excuses or stories, right? Then the problem is that, so when you're trying to implement new things and your life is already really full, so you got to think about this. You're trying to bring in more stuff. Well, it's not really going to work, because where are you going to fit it? And so what you need to do first is figure out, what can I let go of? What do I need to let go of? And there's often things in our lives that we keep doing even though we know we shouldn't. Maybe something we should delegate, maybe something our spouse or our kids should start doing, but we just do it because it's easier. Well, you're doing that to yourself. You're just staying in that pattern, because every choice you make, you're stuck, right? So you got to look at that and go, okay, so I'm making a choice. Hi, Erica. I'm making a choice not to continue to do those things that maybe I shouldn't do, and that's why I have no time. Or you spend a lot of time being busy, saying, now I don't have time to exercise or eat good because I'm just so busy in my life. So you're using those things as an excuse not to start. So you need to really, if you're going to start with new habits, exercising, eating better, you need to let go of a couple things so that you have space, so you have time. And then you need to make the exercise and the eating healthy, whatever, a priority, which it should be in your life. And most people put exercising and preparing food or prepping food as last. They'll get everything else done, and then they'll leave those things last, and then say, of course, I just didn't have time. And that is an excuse. If it is important to you, like I said, finding that real big why, and so the exercising and prepping food and eating healthy food has to be right up there, because really, what's more important than health, right? Nothing. And so number 4, eat cleaner. And that just sounds so generic, but we're going to keep it really clean and generic right now and really short. Eat cleaner. So that's what you need to do to stop it's like you're stopping your excuses. You need to just do it. And that is eating way more vegetables, greens, fruits, getting your smoothies in. That's what you need to do to have health, like in happiness, and staying independent, and being healthy as you age, and looking your best, and feeling your best. You need to eat cleaner. That's one of the things that has to be done. And you need to, and a way of looking at it is not as what you have to give up. You want to look at what you need, what you get to eat, the fabulous things you bring into your life. You want to look at it from a positive. So instead of thinking eating clean means deprivation, I have to give up all this horrible food, all this good food. I mean, I don't get to eat cheese. And remember, no all or nothing attitude. You want to just say, I am going to bring in amazing healthy food. I'm going to get great recipes that I love. I'm going to bring those foods in. I'm going to feel so fantastic. Oh my God, it's going to be so great. That's the attitude you got to have, because the people that eat really healthy, that are really healthy, that love their food and love their life and are all energetic, like eating healthy. They have a very positive attitude towards it. And that's what you need to develop to continue to stay on track. And that's part of having a big why again. Number 5 of this is the 5 steps is to get help if you need extra help. Just like you would if something was wrong with your car, your car is beginning to break down, you take it to a mechanic, you take it to somebody who can really help you. Because you don't want to start taking your car apart and putting it all over the floor and then thinking you can just put it back together again, no problem. It's never going to work. Doesn't happen. You don't do that. So why do we think we can figure all this out by ourselves? If you haven't been able to 20, 30, 40, 50 years figure this out, then why don't you seek a little bit of help, guidance, and support, get you on track, get you know what's right for you, and that's exactly what I do. So if you are somebody who's like, okay, I'm ready, I need to make some changes, but you're not sure how, you know you need accountability, and you know you need help, then reach out to me. You can check out my programs now at dianamarchand.com, and of course, I have tons of free videos. I have tons of free recipes on my blog, dianamarchand.com. Also on my old blog, Raw Foods Made Simple, as well. Be part of my community for women over 40, women creating healthy lives, because I share a ton of stuff there. Easy recipes, fantastic meal ideas, and really a lot of motivation and things to keep you on track. And I answer your questions too, so I can guide you and help you right there on that Facebook page. Take action. Remember these 5 steps. Get rid of the all or nothing attitude. Get rid of your story. See your story for what it is, as just a story. It's not real. And number 3, which is force yourself. You need to actually force yourself to do something to get started, to develop the habits. Find your big why that's going to keep you motivated. And it's got to be a big one, not just lose a few pounds, not just that. It's got to be a big why. Book the time, as in those things have to be on your top 3 priorities. That's just realistic. That's what has to happen. Number 4, eat cleaner. Pay attention to what you're eating. And number 5 is get the help if you need it. Hi, Jolene. I am finishing this video off right now. Go back and watch from the beginning because it's really great and I give a lot of good points. This is really big. There's 5 steps that I talked about to really stop the excuses and really off again, on again. And it has a lot to do with taking action and the way you think about things. Okay, so remember to join me on Women Creating Healthy Lives and have a wonderful evening, you guys. Take care. Bye.